I'm 33 years old and I was married to my ex-wife Emily, 29, for about 4 years before I found out she had been cheating on me with an old boyfriend. Naturally, that was the end of our marriage, and we finalized the divorce about 8 months ago. During the divorce, I discovered that Emily's younger sister, Sarah, 21, had known about the affair all along and even helped Emily cover it up from me and the rest of the family. Before this mess, I had promised to cover Sarah's college expenses. Coming from a wealthy family, it wasn't a financial burden for me, and I didn't see a reason to punish Sarah for her sister's actions. However, when I learned that Sarah had been complicit in hiding Emily's infidelity, I felt completely betrayed. That's when I decided to retract my offer. About 8 months ago, I told Sarah she needed to find a loan or another source of funding for school because I would no longer be paying for her education. I had already covered 1 semester, but that was it. Recently, I received an email from the college asking about the upcoming semester's fees, and I replied to them, telling them to reach out to Sarah directly because I wouldn't be financing her anymore. Sarah called me in tears, accusing me of being heartless and cruel for cutting her off. She claimed that her family couldn't afford her tuition without my help, and that she would now have to take out student loans. I told her she wasn't my responsibility anymore and blocked her after the call. Later, her father reached out to me. He was much calmer, asking if I would reconsider, but I stood firm, telling him I had no intention of paying for Sarah's education. For some context, her father was very kind to me throughout my marriage and supported me when I decided to divorce Emily. He said he understood my decision and would try to explain it to Sarah. This decision has caused a rift among our mutual friends and family. While many people support my choice, others have criticized me for breaking my promise to Sarah, including my own mother. She thinks I should reconsider, pointing out that paying for Sarah's education wouldn't hurt me financially. On the other hand, my father agrees with me and supports my decision. The truth is, I could easily afford to pay for Sarah's entire education, but I can't shake the feeling of betrayal from Emily's cheating and Sarah's role in hiding it. I feel conflicted, but I don't believe I owe her anything anymore. So, am I the jerk? Top comments. Sarah is upset because she's facing the consequences of her actions. She helped hide her sister's affair and now has to deal with the fallout. You were helping her out of kindness, and she betrayed that trust. Not the jerk. Actions have consequences, and this is hers. Hopefully, Sarah will learn that lying and betraying people isn't the way to go. Also, if she's calling her sister's ex-husband to scream about tuition, she's clearly not mature enough for medical school. If your friends feel so strongly about Sarah's education, they can pay for it themselves. She helped destroy your marriage by supporting her sister's infidelity. Let her sister or her ex-boyfriend cover the tuition costs. Next story, kicking out my son. Was I too harsh? Here's the situation. My 24-year-old son, Zach, recently came into a large sum of money, around $200,000 from a lucky investment. Since then, he's been completely coasting. He doesn't have a job, doesn't even look for one, and worst of all, he refuses to contribute a dime to anything at home. No bills, no groceries, and he won't even lift a finger to help with basic household chores. All he does is sit around playing video games or hanging out with his buddies. Every time I try to talk to him about stepping up and contributing, he shrugs me off with some excuse about figuring things out. I've given him plenty of chances to show some responsibility. I even asked him to at least start paying for his own food or contribute a bit of rent, but he flat out refused. I'm not asking for much, just a little help since he's living under my roof for free. I tried to calmly explain that things needed to change. But Zach got defensive, insisting that it's his money and he should be able to spend it however he wants. I don't want to come off as greedy, but it's not fair that I'm still covering all the expenses while he sits on a fortune. After months of back and forth, I finally gave him an ultimatum. Either start pitching in or find a new place to live. He thought I was bluffing, but when he still refused, I packed up his stuff and told him he had to leave. Now, he's staying with a friend and telling everyone that I'm being unreasonable and unsupportive. Some family members think I should have let it go since he's young and has money, but I can't shake the feeling that he's taking advantage of me. I just want him to grow up and take responsibility. He can't mooch off me forever. So, am I the jerk for kicking him out? Top comments, not the jerk. Your son is absolutely taking advantage of you. He would have continued living off you if you hadn't taken action. Sometimes you have to give the baby bird a little push out of the nest. Zach is 24, not a child anymore. If he thinks he's grown enough to handle his own finances, then he should handle his living situation too. It's his money. He can spend it however he likes. But if he wants to sleep on friends' couches while sitting on a pile of cash, that's his choice. Let him figure it out. Exactly, he's an adult. You did the right thing. My mom used to say, "I'll always love you, but I don't have to like who you choose to be." Zach's behavior was way out of line, and your decision wasn't about money. It was about respect. You were more than generous letting him stay rent-free and contribute nothing. It's your house, your rules. I've seen plenty of 24-year-olds make big, life-changing decisions. Zach shouldn't be any different. You weren't kicking out someone who is going to be broke or homeless. He has the means to support himself. The money will run out eventually, and when it does, don't let him come running back. This is his time to figure things out. Am I the a-hole for prioritizing my nephew over my own children after they hid their mom's affair? I am now 58 years old. I was almost 25 years old when I divorced my wife. The reason? I discovered she had been having an affair for nearly 5 years. She's now with the person she cheated on me with. The betrayal hit me hard. Everything I did in life, I did for her and our kids. To find out that she had been unfaithful for so long shattered me. What made things worse was discovering that my children, my daughter and son, had known about the affair for years and kept it from me. They both felt terrible about hiding the truth, especially my daughter, who cried and apologized countless times. I forgave them because I understood they didn't want to break up the family, and I even told them to let go of their guilt. But deep down, I lost a significant amount of love and trust for them. While I'm not planning to cut them out of my will or inheritance, I've emotionally distanced myself. I can't seem to connect with them anymore. On the other hand, I have a niece and a nephew, both of whom I've been very close with since their father passed away when they were young. I took on a fatherly role in their lives because it was hard for my sister to raise them on her own. Over the past 4 years, my relationship with my niece and nephew has grown even stronger. I've been a part of their children's lives, attending birthday parties, holidays, and family gatherings. I've become a proud grandpa to their kids and enjoy every moment spent with them. However, my own children also have kids. My daughter has 2, and my son's first child is on the way. They've invited me over multiple times for family events, but I've mostly declined, saying I'm busy. In reality, I've missed almost all of their children's special occasions because I'm just not interested in being a grandpa to them. I still send gifts, but I avoid spending time with them. My daughter seems particularly hurt by this, but I hope she understands why I feel this way. Am I the a-hole for prioritizing my nephew and niece over my own children? Top comments. Not the a-hole for prioritizing your niece and nephew, but you owe it to your children to be honest. Tell them that while you don't want them to feel guilty, they lost your trust by hiding their mother's affair. You need to be upfront about the fact that you can't fully reconnect emotionally after what happened. It's more than trust. They've caused irreparable damage to your relationship. You've forgiven them, but you can't just forget and pretend everything is fine. If you tell them you've lost trust, they might try to repair it. But it's a consequence of their actions. The sad part is that your grandkids are innocent in all of this. This isn't your fault. The affair was your wife's doing. She put your children in a terrible position by forcing them to choose between telling you and keeping the family together. You've suffered so much because of her choices, and it's understandable that you feel the way you do. I recently updated my relationship status with my kids, and it wasn't easy. After reading the comments on my previous post, I realized that my children deserve to hear the truth from me, not to be kept in the dark as I had been for years. So I had a difficult video call with my daughter and son where I laid everything out. I told them that while I had forgiven them for hiding their mother's affair, I could never forget it. For my own mental well-being, I needed to limit my interactions with them. I explained that after dedicating over half my life to my wife and children, it was time to put myself first. I was honest about my feelings, telling them that I didn't feel the same love for their kids as I did for my nieces and nephew's children. Whenever I was with my niece and nephew, I felt happiness. But with my own children, I felt nothing. They probably suspected it already, but I wanted them to hear it directly from me. It was incredibly tough to get all of that off my chest, and my daughter took it especially hard. She cried, a lot, and I felt terrible about it. But I also felt a sense of relief. I had finally been completely transparent with them. I told them they were welcome to visit me anytime and that I would always help if they needed anything. But for now, I wanted to keep some distance. Both of my children apologized repeatedly and asked me to reconsider. I told them I would think about it, but for now, I needed this space. Their relationship with their mother has also deteriorated significantly. It's a tragic situation, but I feel like I've done what I needed to for my own peace of mind. Top comments. Not wrong for feeling the way you do, but it's important to continue being open about your feelings with your children. The damage caused by hiding their mother's affair was immense, and while you've forgiven them, it's understandable that you can't just forget. Everyone here is a victim, except for your ex-wife. She's the one who caused this entire mess, and your children were put in an impossible situation. But they made the wrong choice, and now all of you are suffering the consequences. It's not wrong for you to focus on what brings you peace. Counseling might help. It's clear that there's a lot of unresolved pain here, and it would benefit you and your children to talk to someone. Everyone is broken in this situation, except for the one who caused it.